Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to one of the most picturesque tracks here on the service as well as in real life. It is time. The GR86 League takes on Phillip Island here tonight, and you're going to be here for every second of it. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sean Stam, joined by the one, the only Nicholas Hall. Nick, I hope you are doing fabulous here on... It's going to be a great evening for racing here on Stam Studio Network. Appreciate everybody joining in as we see the drivers getting ready to load up into the race. Nick, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to get this race started, to get going. You know, it's always fun to be here with the 86 Challenge and see some of these great racers as they race around some of these more iconic tracks around the world. Up on your screen right now, of course, we have the starting grid for tonight's race with Tiago putting it on pole with a 1 minute 45.9 second lap. Robert Schwenkler coming in second with just 0.3 seconds behind them. Slater Colby, Daniel Higgins rounding out the second row. Stone Colby, Nico Colby rounding out the third row, and the trio of Colby brothers. Amethyst Reese and Benjamin Forehand coming into the fourth row. Jake Steckler, Joe Rainey, Aliaxe Andreu, and Warren Johnson are rounding out the rest of the grid right now. And honestly, it's going to be a good race here. You know, these cars, they're comfortable for these racers, but they always know how to push them to the limit.
Definitely. This league here, the GR86 Challenge, these drivers know how to do it best out of any league I've seen. And what we normally see, the crosswinds here at Phillip Island being right here on the Australian coast, well, only 2-mile-per-hour winds here tonight, or today in the race, 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 24% humidity, once again right on the coast. And looking at our upcoming schedule for this league here today, Phillip Island, Indy coming up next, Caldwell Motor Speedway, Thruxton Daytona Road Course, or Thruxton, excuse me, Daytona Road Course, Canadian Tire, Knock Hill, and then rounding out the season and championship with Summit Point. So we bring up the championship points here. Looking at the coast, oh, what a beautiful shot. Slater Colby leading us in the points. Tiago P. De Lima right there, just behind him, only 3 points. And Stone Colby, Nico Colby, oh boy, this is such a tight battle for third, fourth. It just all throughout the field here in the points going on.
Yeah, it really is, and it's good to see just how tight it is, even with how many races are left in the season. I call them championships, but a lot of leagues, what happens is you can start to see a lot of gaps, especially at the top, start to widen. And it's nice to see that it is still super tight with only 6 points separating the top three and only, 22 points separating the top five, and it was still about 7 to 10 races to go in the season. there is still a lot left to play for in those top 5 positions. It is still anybody's league as we look at the standings, even though Slater's in the top right now. You never know what's going to happen, especially with all these cars on pretty much the same loadouts. They're the same car. It comes down to the skill of the drivers, and that is why we are here.
Appreciate everybody joining here in YouTube land. Welcome to Phillip Island. If you are just now joining us, green flag is out. Tiago P. de Lima, Robert Schwinkler going to lead us here into the treacherous turn 1. Lots of negative camber turns on this track. We're going to have to see how this goes. We're already looking 4 wide for P4 on back.
4 wide. You can see it kind of splits off with the 2nd and 4th cars laying on the brakes a little bit early, not wanting to get caught up in what could be a massive wreck early at the start. As we already do have one, the 64 car going around the 79, going into the gravel pit, having to try to work their way out of it. Luckily, we're not in MotoGP, or else you'd be on your side already. Instead, we're just going to get a lot of gravel on track instead, as we take a look at Tiago P. de Lima as they are leading off still, but taking a little bit of an early break and giving the lead over to Robert Schwinkler up the inside, who's able to make it stick around that right-hand turn. Tiago going a little wide coming out of there, and now we're single file. Little doubles going out the back, nothing triple through there, as it is a little tight through these corners, but look at that Neon Cat go around the outside. Amethyst rocking one of those late 2010s internet memes. Was it mid 2010s? I don't know.
Sometime around there.
I did not follow meme culture at that time. I just know it was sometime in the 2010s.
I was a little young with you, but the lead, as well as the battle for P2 between Tiago and Slater back here, my goodness, we're going to have to keep an eye on. As Daniel Higgins, was that maybe a little contact? And we're going to have to take a look at that incident and what happened with Christopher Gartland as well as Joe Rainey.
Ooh, Schwinkler just goes through the grass.
Oh my God, Tiago's going to lose the lead with that move, and yeah, that was Schwinkler, excuse me, as well, who's going to lose a lot, what, 5, 6, 7 spots there.
And that means that Slater Colby, our current points leader, is also in first of this race right now. Now, we are just through the first lap, ladies and gentlemen. There is still about 34 minutes left, 33 minutes left as we look at the clock. So a lot of time still left in this race. But if this is any indication of how this race is going to go, we are in for a barn burner of a time, as there is going to be a lot of position swapping tonight.
Speaking of position swapping, first of all, welcome Rob Edgel back here in YouTube chat. Appreciate you joining us here on SSN. Nico Colby, he has gained 4 spots since the start of the race. I was watching him in practice having a blast, and you see him 2nd row on the right side of the driver cams. Could we be seeing another, well, Slater's up front now, but man, double Colby's, and then we have Stone Colby in P6, but could be another Colby win here tonight. Phillip Island.
It absolutely could be, with currently a Colby 1-2, Stone in 6th currently.
This
so
is how
a little
the leader
farther
went off
back
the
as
track.
It's a little tap to the backside, unfortunately, it looked like.
Was that Tiago that?
It looked like it could have been.
We're going to have to see again if there was contact or maybe a little net code between the drivers. Oops, that was late on. Apologies there. Just getting more Stam Studio Network logo time. Here we go. Ooh,
I think it was just a slight network tap. It's a slight network tap, I think, when you look at it.
One more look, and then we'll cut back live to coverage. Here's the rear bumper cam.
Yeah, that's a tap. That's a tap through and through. You can see how the car just turns too much, and I think these drivers are good enough that they wouldn't turn that egregiously into a corner and totally lose it on the apex, especially after they went 2nd in qualifying. But as it is now, we're on to our 3rd lap here, and it seems to have settled down a little bit, with the leaders trying to keep it a little bit more calm. Tiago trying to make their way around Stone here, is going to be able to make that pass happen, but you can already see the gravel starting to accumulate on the track from some of these drivers going off, and that's going to potentially play a part as you do lose grip if you hit those gravelly surfaces on the track.
Definitely, as man, Stone Colby going to not make that pass work just yet on Tiago, as battle for the lead starting to get just a little bit further between one another. But how about Daniel Higgins? He's up a spot since the start of the race, right behind Nico Colby. He's really mastered this Toyota GR86 car this season, as well as our multi-class season. Always runs that Dynaco number 95. That'll catch your eye pretty quick. And I think if the Colby brothers, there's lots of respect all throughout the field here tonight in this 86 Challenge race, but I don't know if there is contact between the leaders or if Daniel just able to hold onto his car, his tires a little bit longer at this really tough technical Phillip Island track. He could pull a KC Stoner, a two-time world champ there in MotoGP out of 07 and 2011. Appreciate Uncle filling out that information for me. It'll be cool to see as we're racing here at pretty much his home track as well. KC's not Daniel.
It's actually interesting. Valley Car Group in the YouTube chat actually giving us a little piece of information here with Nico Colby going P1 in qualifying at Apex this past weekend.
Goodness gracious.
Qualifying and setting a new track record for the MX-5s. Slater came in and won the race with Stone in third. So these Colby brothers, they are no slouch for racing, doing it not only in these these Toyota GR86s, but also in the MX-5s that do feel quite different to each other, though still similar styles of cars. And I mean, that just shows the prowess that they have across multiple different styles of racing and why they are first, third, and fourth respectively in the points ranking right now.
That's a great point, and we appreciate Valley Car Group coming in and telling us that. And Warren Johnson actually let me know, and we've seen the real life footage, especially out of these Colby guys, know that they run the real life MX-5 Cup cars, and it's super cool now that they're putting display here in the sim, and it does translate, you best believe it. And we got Stone Colby up top, Slater Colby top left, and then Nico Colby once again second row right. And hey, we got some new cams this week as well. Got to shout out Tiago coming in almost a POV cam. See the triple monitor set up. Tiago, he's lost 3 spots since the start of this race. That Loomis Cloud number 86, our one driver not from the US here tonight, out of Brazil. Appreciate Tiago coming on with us, and he's up there in the points as well.
Yeah, Tiago currently second in points with 93. Falling a little bit back after putting it on pole this evening. Had a little bit of a bad run through one of the corners and just lost the lead, and then dropped back some more after that tap. Slowly working their way back up, currently in 4th position, trying to find their way past Daniel Higgins right now, who's having a monster of a race. Usually one of these middle of the pack racers, but really showing up here today, and one that I'm gonna want to keep my eyes on and see where they finish, because they're definitely surprising me tonight, because usually you don't see them this far up in the...
Pass for the lead. Slater Colby's diving down the inside of that hairpin turn to the right and gonna make the pass. Actually, that was Nico, excuse me. What a pass, what a move there out of Nico Colby.
Yeah, just taking that inside line, noticing that gap had opened up, and they were able to shoot the gap, secure the position, and hold on to it. And so now that they're leading...
Ooh, Daniel Higgins. Here comes
almost
Tiago.
Here. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Bobcat's tail down the
Tiago
inside.
having the inside, I think that's their position.
That is, and he'll solidify that. And let's take a look real quick. Speaking of Tiago, as I'd see Daniel side by side. This is how Tiago lost his up-running spot. That's Nico Colby down the inside, coming down the last turn of the track. Oh, that was just a small little off track there. But yeah, Tiago definitely, we've seen that, what, 1, 2, 3 times this season. He'll go off the track or just a little bit of contact, but has the pace to get right back up to the back bumper. That's fair for the lead, or
yeah.
P2, P3.
Yeah, you can see right now, currently battling out with Slater now, as the gap is widening to Daniel Higgins, who's dropping a little bit. Right now, Stone has to find their way back around them before they can start to catch up back to this lead pack here. Nico doing a good job of holding steady in first position in that no fear machine. Definitely
no fear.
Driving without fear tonight, as able to stick that middle of the line, missing out on the apex just a little bit of that turn. So you can see they've lost out on some of the time they had up against their brother, who's now right on their bumper. There is no space between those two.
No fear. I think the fear is here. There goes both. 2 for 1.
Shooting the inside. That's going to be a 2-for-1 pass.
I love it for Tiago. He's got it set up. He will get the 2-for-1. I love it. Tiago P. Diddley. Oh, he's going to be on the outside of this kind of slower left-hander, the one that never ends, it seems. Oh, and you see the gravel. Less grip as it rooster tails off every single car that ran that outside line. Tiago's still going to shove it down the inside of Slater Colby. No harm, no foul there, and don't clip that as well. Still side by side. Daniel gets a little beat.
Yeah, I mean, you can see just how tight this racing is right now between these leaders. As now it is Slater looking to get that first position out around the outside. Not going to quite make it happen as they dip a little bit onto that turf area off that curb. Slows them down just a hair, but not enough to really make too much of a difference here as Nico's right back on their bumper as well. Stone Colby looking for their pass on Daniel Higgins up the inside right now. Is going to make that stick. It looks like has about a quarter of their car in front, and that will stick. That will be Stone's position now as they have fully moved their machine in front. So now it is a Thiago, then the triple Colby brothers, and then Daniel Higgins now with Jake Steckler coming up in 6th position, fighting with Benjamin Forehand for that position right now. And what a race we have on our hands tonight, Sean.
This is great. I think this has been one of the best races of this 86 season so far, and we're not even halfway through the race just yet. If you had to pick somebody for the race win, who do you pick? Are you sticking with Tiago, who's now worked his way back up, or are you going with possibly one of that Colby trio?
We're going to call this the too early call for the win, and I'm probably going to give it to Slater here. I think that they always manage to come up with something, and with how they've been racing, Tiago has a great race. Always. It's going to be between Tiago and Slater, I think, but I'm just going to give the slight edge to Slater tonight.
I love it. Oh, that's not giving you a shot at the rear left bumper. There's the man Nico Colby himself. He always battles up here for the lead. I think tonight could possibly be, if we don't see Tiago run away with this thing, could be running the Subaru paint scheme. I love it. Out of the number 16 GR86. Well, no fear, but once again, I'd be fearing Tiago. And like your pick, like you said, Slater, right here, right in front of him.
Currently, it's settled down a little bit. We can see that at least in this lead pack, Daniel Higgins doing a good job keeping up with them.
A little bit further back.
I think it's gonna be pretty fairly, safe up there in terms of how the passes are gonna happen. Here's where the fun begins. Once you get 8th and back, of course, Amethyst,
some bump drafting,
and the rest of the crew. I mean, that's some really good bump drafting. That's NASCAR level bump drafting right there. Trying to get a little bit of extra speed coming into these corners. This is a flat out corner here that they really need to keep as much speed as they can through, making sure oh, that is a little bit of a slide there from Caleb Greco. You see that back end just start to fishtail out. That's where you start to get a little bit of danger, especially if you do that in this gravelly area of the track right now.
Know that we got the Caleb fans out there in chat. Of course, got the Caleb cam rocking it, going strong. As Caleb is up 2 spots at the start of the race, sitting P11 right now, and probably munching on some popcorn as he has a great view of this Ali Kassai and Joe Rainey battle going on right in front of him. Good run for Caleb here tonight as we will cut, I think, back to the battle for the lead here. Oh my goodness gracious, I'm glad we did. This is Slater Colby. We'll take a quick look at the replay of how it happened, and that's Nick's pick right there.
Yeah, he just always manages to find a way. This time darting to the outside as he then gets the inside line.
That's
just
why I
really
love...
well done on that.
Sorry to cut you off. That's why I love Phillip Island. So many of these corners, the outside sets up into then the inside of the next corner. And it just presents such passing zones. We see why MotoGP and their fans love this place. Is my goodness gracious, look at this battle for first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
Yeah, I mean, and you can see Daniel Higgins has actually passed Stone Colby once again, as now Stone is trying to look up the inside, but doesn't quite have the line to do so. About a car length between those two cars means that they won't have the opening that they require to make a pass for that position coming through this first set of turns here this evening. I mean, this is some high quality racing tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And this is, you blink and you miss it with how fast these races are and just how tight some of these passes are. As you can see there, looks like Tiago's back up into the lead. Slater's dropped to third with Nico taking second here. As I was just saying, blink and you miss it. I didn't even see that pass happen.
I didn't want to interrupt because I was actually looking at something that I am just about to talk about, but here is the Tiago P. de Lima move. Oh, we'll cut to a better. Okay, well, let's try that again. Here's the Tiago P. de Lima move for the pass for the lead. As it looks like
just too much.
Oh, did
too much,
Slater?
Not enough braking.
No kidding.
Slater went
he
wide.
went way off the racing line. Great battling.
Yeah.
And Nick, I can't put this into words enough for everybody watching here at home unless you've ran iRacing yourself. I mean, at this point in the race, you are sweating your tail off. The micro adjustments in the steering wheel right now would be here we go. Great shot for here. As it looks like Daniel Higgins, that's what I mean with the micro adjustments. This is a little bit longer section of the track here, longer medium speed corner, but when you get into the tighter technical sections as well as the off speed and off camber sections of the track, it really tests the ability and passing zones. Was that a little wave out of Nico Colby? Hello to you two running P2 at the moment. Real quick, Nick, before we switch off here, welcome everybody who's joining in from the NCAA men's basketball tournament. If you are watching this race live and have that on replay, mute yourself real quick because I'm about to congratulate the winner of that as we're looking 2x2 heading into a left-hander. Congratulations, SEC Florida Gators, taking that win off of Houston.
Congratulations indeed to the winner of that game, but now all that matters is right here, 4 wheels, 1 driver,
A little bit more important.
Win it all. Just slightly, You know, no hate to the sports ball crew, but this is where the real action is happening. This is what matters more.
We agree on that. Daniel Higgins, he's back to where he started, and I think he could very possibly be working his way into one of those top 3 interview spots. But watch out for Stone Colby, as he's going to be looking down the outside out of this left-hander, not able to make it stick. If we get a zoomed-in shot, I love the suspension and compression that iRacing really builds into the simulator. You'll see it within harder braking zones here. These Toyota GR86s, Nick, when we finally get your wheel dusted off, I can't wait to go kind of nose to tail with you here. Some GR86s.
Absolutely, indeed. That's going to hopefully be very, very soon. As just waiting on a few more things to come in, and the oil rig will be ready to go. Just had to uninstall a power supply today because need to get a better one for the new graphics card that I want to get. So.
Oh no, Tiago! Once again!
No! Oh, and Daniel Higgins as well. Too much speed going through those corners, it looks like, means that Tiago is going to drop back to 7th.
Oh
Daniel
my
down
days.
to 6th, and that is a big change here with less than half of the time remaining. As we are 18.5 minutes through the race. Yeah, he just went wide, didn't put the brakes on enough, and that means that he's going to drop a lot of positions here. Daniel Higgins dropping 2 positions, Tiago dropping 6 positions overall. That means that it looks like Slater is back into the lead, Nico in 2nd, Stone in 3rd.
That changes the whole complexity of the race right now. Once again, how many times have we seen it this season? Colby Trio, 1, 2, 3.
I don't think we've had a Colby Trio 1, 2, 3 completely yet.
No, not a finish just yet.
So that is something to keep an eye out, is if we can get the 1-2-3 finish, that would be a fun time indeed. But still so much racing left, as we still have about 15 minutes left before the end of this race, so still a lot of time for Tiago to work their way up, along with Daniel Higgins to get back into their position. But that's what we were saying, is that just because something is currently running in a certain position or whatever, things can change instantly. And that's what happened there. A little bit of a run wide, and you lose all of that hard work that you had. And now you could see that Nico was looking up the inside before diving back down, just not enough space left on that straightaway to make the pass, and right up on the bumper of Slater is what Nico's trying to do right now.
I love this because you can have a little action after the race if, say, maybe Nico or Stone even gets a little bit too deep into a braking zone. Is once again some bump drafting going along the straightaway here. Nico Colby looking down the inside of the right-hander, and here comes Benjamin Forehand. I don't think we've said his name tonight. He has made his way up to what was P4 for a second. Throw a blanket over this whole battle is still side by side. Slater Colby, Nico Colby, side by side. Slater going to retain the lead for the moment. Here comes Stone Colby now down the inside of Nico Colby.
Less than a second separates number 1 through number 5 in this race. It is still anybody's race here with still 14 minutes left to go.
Oh,
I
no!
mean, Stone has now taken second from Nico. The
Sean and Tater
curse.
curse.
That is Benjamin Forehand going wide into the wall. We'll have to get a replay of that one here in just a few seconds. Slater going a little bit off the track there, off that curb, almost lost the car there. You have to be careful on this narrow MotoGP track, and that could have changed the entire complexity of this race once again here, Sean.
Looking at the replay here of Benjamin Forehand as he went off track, man, I said it best here. Sean and Tater Curse gonna strike. Is this, it's just self-induced, a little bit too much wheel input into the car and hard into the tire barriers. I do believe damage is off here tonight, but
well, unfortunate for their race, as that drops them down into 7th.
Yeah, and something that just now pops into my mind, Nick, within this GR86, this is open. This is open setups, and you can put just as much fuel as you want into the car. I wonder if any of these guys up in this top 4 battle, are they pushing themselves above the estimated fuel limits that they had? And we've seen it so many times this season. A driver will peel off on that last lap coming into the pits, and not enough fuel in the car. I think as the season ticks on, well, you kind of learn from your lessons there, but it's just this battling been so tight, so intense, so much on throttle time. It'll be interesting to see if that throws off anybody's fuel numbers.
That it will indeed, as they seem to have, at least in the top, in points wise, between Tiago, Slater, Stone, and Nico, we haven't seen that from them yet. So I'm sure that they're pretty on target and know their fuel calculations. But for the rest of the squad, we have seen it quite often. And it's just something that we're going to have to keep an eye on as we go through this race, near the end, because that can absolutely change everything.
And it's not if, guys, but it is when that changes everything, as we are just now approaching. Yeah. Oh, is that 23 minutes? My OBS is so small, but here comes Stone Colby. Look at this little DRS train, you could call it, down the front straightaway. Man, Stone Colby, he is wanting this lead bad as he is taking away second place from his bro, Nico Colby.
Yeah, I mean, doing a great job here so far between these 3 Colby brothers, and super respectful, awesome battles up front. And Jake Steckler's up into 4th right now.
Where did he come from?
Yeah, exactly. Just quiet, consistent race from Jake Steckler tonight, putting them into 4th position, taking advantage of some of the mistakes of the drivers that were in front of them. And now Tiago, about 2 seconds back from the lead, working their way up to Daniel Higgins, kind of playing a little bit in tow of that, trying to use Tiago's speed to their advantage as well. I mean, Tiago has the speed to pass Jake here before time is up. I don't think they can get to first, though. With how much time is left and how much distance there is, I think it's going to be a tall task.
Oh boy.
But it's going to be up to one of these Slater brothers to make a mistake, and all that can change is it's now Stone taking the lead from Slater in what is another clean pass here tonight.
Taking a look at this pass being made as we were talking just a little bit about our 4th, 5th place runner just down the inside, able to make that GR86 stick with the downforce. There's not much of it on these super light race cars, but man, Stone Cold, this battle isn't over yet. This is going to be nose to tail, side by side racing for the last remainder of this race. And who messes the battle up? Who gets in just a little bit deep into the braking zone? Possibly sending their brother around, as it is still Colby action 1, 2, 3, and like I believe that was Valley Club Group saying earlier in the race, if you're just now joining us, man, Apex Nico went P1 in qualifying, setting a new track record. Slater won the race and Stone 3rd. So get the iRacing history books out and start typing, because this Colby, the Stone, Slater, Nico, this is pretty special. I think what we're seeing, it's super aggressive but clean racing. And once again, Nico Colby trying the well, that's Slater Colby trying the inside down this hairpin turn. Once again, going to make it work.
Absolutely will indeed. As there's Tiago up into P4.
That didn't take long, did it, man?
Didn't have enough, and they proved me wrong once again. And now, I mean, crazy times here tonight at this raceway. I mean, these drivers doing an excellent job of leaving it all out on the track. As that is a very quick run up late on the brakes for Tiago, as they're trying to make up a lot of time and get themselves back up into first position where they started. And look at Daniel Higgins making a run on Jake Steckler, going to make it happen around the inside as well. Go outside, then you're up on the inside, and that position is going to stick, as Jake Steckler's now gonna have to find a way to go up the inside or maybe outside of Daniel Higgins, depending on where you are in this track. I mean, so many good battles, and it just doesn't stop. Less than 10 minutes to go.
I know we've been focused on pretty much the top 6 this whole race, but Warren Johnson, our league owner back here, and I believe that's a new paint job, the 86 Challenge. This is a really tight battle as well. He's right on Daniel Parmalee's back bumper. Caleb Greco right behind is. Just wanted to point that out real quick, but it happens so fast. There goes Stone Colby a little off the track. Tiago P. DeLima, I don't think he shoved him. I think that was once again a little driver self-induced incident, as that took out the Colby top 3. What happened here? Because I just mentioned, if one of these guys go deep, it's so close that it's going to take out all of them.
It's the gravel. It looks like it's the gravel. Or something. Is invisible wall there.
Yeah, that didn't help. Okay, this is the battle for. Oh no!
It just goes off track, and then you just lose the traction.
So that's Slater that goes off. What happens to Nico up here? Because right now Tiago is right behind Nico. As we'll fast forward to when Nico goes off here. Oh, this was tight battling into the lead. There goes Nico. So the Colby brothers just dropped like flies.
And that happens, you know, the pressure of someone fast on your rear bumper can lead to mistakes like that. And for Slater, for Nico, unfortunately, it dropped them out of the top 3, and Tiago has passed Stone and put an almost 3-second gap between them while we were watching the replays.
Oh my, yeah, well, the replays do tend to take up a little time, but then you add in 3 of them for Stone, Nico, and Slater. My gosh, I thought we were, maybe that's a Sean and Tater, a Nick and Tater jinx there, but
a commentator curse.
Yes,
there, right there. It was both of us.
For once we would have a Colby trio top 3 finishes. Man, the battle for P2 now continues to heat up. Jake Steckler here right in P4.
Big Steckler in 4, Daniel Higgins in 3rd, looking for their best finish of the season right now. And on the bumper of Stone, looking to actually secure that position. They're going to go up the inside hard on the brakes around that turn. They are going to
Daniel
make it sick. Going out
Higgins.
the
Oh
It's not going to
no!
happen.
He goes too
Going
deep.
back and into lose the position. That's what happens when you go for those dive bombs, unfortunately. And it just means they lose the position. Now they're down in 4th. You risk it for the biscuit. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. This time they weren't able to get the car around that second turn, which is just as important as that first turn, especially at a track like this.
No kidding, such a technical track here in Phillip Island, just on the coast of Australia. And Jake Steckler, he's up P3 plus 6 spots since the start of the race. Just a little over 5 minutes to go, because once that, well, depending on when the leader of Tiago gets to that start-finish line, we'll have to see it. But what a run from Jake here tonight. And oh man, you're gonna have to keep typing on the history books here, because what was, once again, Colby Trio top 3, Stone running P2 now, Nico down to P5, and Slater down to P7.
Down to P7 indeed, 14 seconds back. Nico Colby 6 seconds back, as Stone still fighting for their life here in that second spot. Is a little bit of a slide there from Jake, able to arrest it, making sure they don't go off, but they're going wide around that corner, and that's going to slow them up, with giving Daniel Higgins a huge run up and making sure they can get right back on that bumper and potentially back up into a top 3 finish.
On board with GoPro cam on Daniel Higgins' windshield here. I think Daniel Higgins could have this P3 spot. I think we've seen the passes that Daniel is able to make throughout the season. It's very clean, methodical passes, although we are getting down to the nitty-gritty, just the last 4 minutes to go here at Phillip Island. Look for Daniel Higgins to be in that top 3 interview group as Jake Steckler continues to try and hold him off. Art of Media, that's a new paint job, I think, there on Jake Steckler. That'll catch your eye,
so.
number 42.
A very, very nice paint job there. As
look at the gravel.
To look at. Oh, that's so much gravel. So much gravel. And it makes it very difficult to make a turn like that that's so tight. As it's going to be Christopher Gartland that went off and put a lot of gravel back on the track.
You're gonna see
and
it
at
here.
a really unfortunate point as well. As you can see just how much, look at how the car right behind them also struggled to get through it.
iRacing is not
gravel.
kidding around here. We still have that rear cam. It really will ruin all the grip that you have in the race car. That it just is caked onto the tires. Here comes Daniel Higgins, little slide job, no contact between the two cars, but able to keep it going. Daniel Higgins is, he might go a little wide. He's able to hang on to the car, that number 95. Not make the pass stick yet on Jake Steckler, but don't count these guys out just yet, as just a couple minutes to go here from Phillip Island. Oh, that was close, Nick.
It was very close indeed, as Steckler still trying to hold on to this 3rd position, just trying to do defensive driving at this point, as we have only 2 minutes left to go, which means, depending on the position, the exact positioning on the track, that only means 2 laps remaining for these drivers, as we might just see a white flag coming out here, and as we pass the start-finish straight with how close we are on time. Sean, we might be seeing Tiago working their way back up after a devastating start and making a huge comeback to now be first place and win this race. Now, it is early, but it is entirely possible that happens, and it is more than likely going to happen because they rarely make a mistake like what we saw earlier today.
I love how you said that. We've seen so many ups and downs throughout the season of the Lima's Cloud, number 86, Tiago. But somehow, with the pace that he has in that 3,000 road I rating, my goodness, it's going to be hard to beat at this point, as I do believe this should be, I didn't catch Barry the flagman waving the white flag, but according to timing and scoring, this should be the white flag lap here. While we continue to congratulate Thiago P. de Lima, this last lap battle between Slater Colby and Robert Schwinkler here will be one to watch, as these guys head side by side into that right-hander, what will be a hairpin left-hander the next time by. Robert Schwinkler with the inside line.
Able to secure the position, or I say secure, keep the position. Really good defensive driving right now from Robert Schwinkler, as Slater Colby is right up on their bumper, doing the best that they can to try and get a pass in and get up into that sixth position. They're going to go up the inside. That's going to be the inside, but with where they're at, that's now the outside. Do they have it? Nope. Robert's going to take it right back from them, snatched from the jaws of victory, or well, sixth position for Slater. Instead, it's going to go right back to Robert Schwinkler. Now coming around up towards the north end of the track. Some beautiful views of the ocean, we might add.
No kidding, man.
Beautiful,
Phillip Island
views.
is slowly becoming one of my favorite tracks, even just to broadcast with the views here tonight. As Roberts, he's a little bit loose. I think Slater's a little bit loose, but he's getting close right back up to the gap. Well, we see Thiago P. de Lima coming to the last corner, but this battle is too good to cut away from. Robert now a little bit wide, as Slater Colby now solidifies P6. Playoff points, it will come down to where every point matters, as Thiago P. de Lima coming across the line here. That will make it official. Congratulations, Thiago, on your win here at Phillip Island. Stone Colby, Daniel Higgins. Drivers, be sure to stick around for that top 3 interview. Jake Steckler going to finish this thing P4. Nico Colby, Slater Colby got the spot on the last lap, solidified it. What pace out of Slater. But speaking of pace, Thiago, he went off the track early on, came back, ended up winning this thing. We're going to get some replays, some driver interviews. Stick with us here on Stam Studio Network. We will be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back here to Phillip Island, where we are just awaiting Thiago, Stone Colby, and Daniel Higgins to make their way into the driver interview booth. Oh man, Sean Stam, Nicholas Hall up in the booth, as well as Sean also producing. That's me. I don't know why third person action there, but Nick, what a race here tonight. Thiago able to find his way back up to the lead after this early incident here. It's not going to look like much, but we'll hop on board with him and see just how much time Thiago is going to lose. Just the slight off track here, and ultimately goes first, second, third, fourth, fifth.
Really, yeah, when you go off even that little bit, with how tight the pack was at that moment, it really can be devastating. But I mean, we can see just how well Thiago was able to battle back, take first position by a large margin, and just how much, just because you're leading the race doesn't mean that you're going to finish in the lead of the race, and that's why you always have to complete the race, and that's why we race in general. You can't just look at how qualifying went and assign points based off of that, because races happen differently. And we can see why, with Stone going wide, with Nico going wide, it wasn't Stone, it was Slater going wide, just some crazy moments tonight that led to a really, really exciting race and an amazing finish.
Well said. Let's try and we'll take a quick look at the green flag start of the race here from our chopper cam that follows directly behind these guys. Benjamin Forehand will be directly center of your screen, and this is going to get 4 wide as we see right in front of Benjamin Forehand here into the right-hander of turn 1, then a tough left hairpin coming up right after this. These drivers able to kind of cycle out and get it through a lot cleanly, or more cleanly than I thought. There goes the accident in turn number 2 there. But what a race here tonight. Let's see if we have anybody. Oh, good. Let's see if there's here too. Okay, we're gonna jump down. We're gonna jump into the interview. Alrighty. Hello, drivers. We're going to start out with our race winner here tonight, Tiago P. de Lima. What an eventful start. What a nice way to work your way back up through the pack. First of all, I guess I should have started with it. You got a copy?
Yeah, I do have a copy.
Tiago, oh boy. If you weren't listening to the broadcast live, I mentioned it. This is something we've seen once or twice, maybe thrice, throughout this 86 season so far. How are you able to work your way up through the pack so efficiently? We see the iRating difference, 3,000 compared to about to 1,000. We see some other 2,000, 3,000s, but excellent work here tonight, and congratulations on securing Phillip Island.
Well, I don't even know how to explain that. I don't know how I pulled that, to be sincere. I'm all sweaty right now. This race was really intense. By far the best race of the season. You know, I finally could get ahead of the Colbys because I've been placing second, you know, all the other races lately. And I don't know, because I had 2 big mistakes during the race and I was able to recover 2 times. I also had a little incident on lap 1. Unfortunately, I kind of hit Robert and took him out. It was my bad. Sorry, Robert, for that. But I don't know, man. This race was so amazing. I could pull it out after like doing a big mistake. I went out on T2, but fortunately I could stick to the draft and recover the positions. And I think once I got back to the Cobs, I sent some pressure through the radio on Discord, and they all went out in the same lap, one after the other. So I just had to, you know, to get the position back, you know.
No, that's too good. It was so much fun to watch. Congratulations once again. And who we're thanking tonight, Mr. Tiago?
Well, I'd like to thank Warren, as always, and all the drivers for making it happen.
Alrighty, well that'll do it for our race winner. I'm going to throw it down. Believe he's over in pit lane after Stone Colby brings it home P2. Nick and Stone Colby, you guys got a copy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yep. Stone, congratulations on P2. Crazy, crazy finish. We almost had a Colby Brothers 1, 2, 3, and then things kind of went sideways with you being the only one to kind of make it through. Seemed like gravel on the track or something. Walk us through what happened there.
Well, right after it happened, or actually right before, we were all saying, a bunch of people in the Discord were saying, oh, we haven't had all the Colbys take over the podium, and that might have just jinxed it. But no, we just yeah. I don't know. The track that turn 2 is tough. I mean, Slater went off before the finish line, and then Nico and I both kind of just got all screwed up in turn 2, and I just wanted to try and just make the best out of it. I mean, I think I qualified 6th or 7th or something like that, but the beginning of that whole race was jam-packed. I mean, I'm sweating, my back hurts. I mean, it was action-packed the whole time. It was a lot of fun. I couldn't see where I was at on the track for about half the race because I was just staring at a bumper. But no, I think it was just that turn 2 kind of cost a lot of people, but it was yeah, the track was definitely demanding for sure.
Absolutely was indeed. It was a lot of fun to watch. We had some great visuals coming from not only the racers but also the the beyond the track as well. But as we finish up here, do you have any shout outs this evening?
For sure. Overstockvehicles.com, vehiclebuyers.com. All my family and friends that watch these races every Monday and Thursday. I'm sure they're on the YouTube channel chatting in there every once in a while and adding the views to it, which is awesome. And Warren and you guys for broadcasting.
Woohoo!
It's awesome. I love it.
Appreciate you, Stone. That
Thank
means the
you.
world to us.
For sure.
Thanks, Stone.
All right, we're going to move on to Mr. Higgins. Daniel Higgins, after a hard-fought battle, works his way up to P3. Mr. Daniel, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, walk us through it. You were, what, down at 6th at one point? You started, I think, you were 4th, I think, on the
4th.
starts. Yeah, and congratulations on the top 3 finish. Walk us through your mindset throughout the race.
Yeah, it was. That was probably one of the best races, of the season so far. Everyone was so clean and respectful up front. It was a great battle the entire time. They said it. I'm sweating. I was going hard as I could, and it was kind of a roller coaster because I had a great start and then I fell back, and Tiago went off, and I was like, "Here's my chance," and then I went off too,
Yeah, you
and I went
followed
back
him.
to 6. Had to come all the way back. I felt like I was really strong through the uphill to the left. I kept gaining time right before the sharp right-hander. It kind of kept me in it. I just clawed my way back, and unfortunately, a couple guys went off track in front of me, and I had a great battle with Steckler there at the end, and I ended up P3. It was probably, I think, my first podium in GR Cup, so I'm excited about that.
Congratulations. We're looking at the replay of it. Just what happened there. And before we move on to, I think Warren Johnson we'll interview real quick. Was that just, did you see Tiago go a little wide there and you happened to follow him, or you just happened to get a little deep into the corner yourself?
I probably got caught staring at him. I saw him go wide, and it felt like I was braking normal, but I had a little oversteer, whip back, and then that was it. That was probably the hardest turn. I think it was turn 2 to the left. I couldn't get that down in practice. I was a second off in practice, and I just could not get that turn down, and I finally learned it, and I was struggling there a couple times, and but when I got it, it was a momentum booster. So, and yeah, I tried to save it going off the grass, and luckily I kept it together. And I don't know if I made contact with Tiago or not, but we kind of both went off at the same spot.
Well, congratulations on your P3 here tonight. That turn, it reminds me of Canadian Tire Motorsport Park turn too. It's just so, if you overstep the boundaries just a little bit, you're right off the track. But before we move up to Warren Johnson, anybody that you'd like to thank here tonight, Daniel?
Same 3 people, the two announcers tonight.
Woohoo!
And Warren, of course, and everyone who's racing in here, and of course Danica.
Of course, Donico, cannot forget that. Thank you, Daniel Higgins. Congrats once again on your P3 here tonight. That'll help out in the points.
Thank you.
Alrighty, shouting out Zer of the Racer, Justin Steves from BNR. Welcome here on YouTube chat as we welcome in Mr. Warren Johnson himself, league owner. Nick, you want to take this one over?
Sure, Warren, welcome. How was your race this evening, Warren? You had some pretty good battles out there as well, a little bit farther down the pack.
Yeah, it was a fun race. From all the comms on Discord, it seemed like it was like the best race ever. But I was watching from the back most of the time, unfortunately, but that's all right. It was a great race. I knew this track was going to be fun. This is such a cool track, but difficult, man. That turn 2 is just absolutely killer, and I really wasn't getting the track down until like kind of halfway through the race. And we had a couple good battles there. I had some contact with Joe. I think it was netcode going up that whatever that number that turn is when I spun at like the second lap or something. There was no way, because neither of us moved, and I know how Joe races. He knows how I race. Like there was no way like I cut in front of him. There's no way he spun me. Just one of those unfortunate iRacing things, but it's all good. No harm there. Joe's a great racer. Who else did I battle with? Daniel. Yeah, Daniel Parmalee. Yeah, he's a hell of a driver, and we find each other battling on track quite often. He's a great racer as well.
No, absolutely. There's great racers up and down this series. It's always fun to step in the booth here with the 86 Challenge and see some super high quality racing here with the Toyota GR86s. Do you have any thoughts on the league overall and how it's progressing throughout the season?
Yeah, absolutely, man. This is a wonderful league. This is, I'm super happy from the growth part of it. Like I said, multiple times, this isn't possible without everybody who attends the races. And we used to just be like 8 dudes, just like me, a couple other real life 86 Challenge people, and the Colbys and Joe, just doing like messing around, and look what we are now, so it's great. The battle up front for the standing is really heating up. It seems like we got a lot more front runners now. That's kind of what I'm liking to see. You can definitely tell the improvement on the drivers, like that from the first race till now. The racing has improved, the skill level has improved. It's great to see, and that's what we're here for, because we're not limiting like I-rating or anything. This is for everybody, and just to see how much everybody's progresses really makes me happy. So this is great racing, man. Can't get enough of it.
Absolutely, indeed. It is absolutely excellent racing. Thank you for everything you're doing for this league, Warren. And Sean, back to you.
Well said. Thank you, Warren, for it. There's a lot behind the scenes going on, so appreciate that. Appreciate all the drivers coming out tonight. We're going to walk you down through our race finishers before we catch our plane ride back on, the other side of the globe. Oh, going to have to tuck in that one, maybe take a few melatonin gummies there. But Tiago P. De Lima going to take home our race win here today. Stone Colby P2, Daniel Higgins, Jake Steckler, Nico Colby, Slater Colby, back-to-back P5, P6, Robert Schweckler, Amethyst Reese, Benjamin Forehand after his off-track excursion brings it home P9. Ali Kasey brings it home P10. Daniel Parmalee will be P11. Our one only, Warren Johnson, P12, Joe Rainey, P13, Jason Holcomb, P14, Christopher Gartland and Caleb Greco bringing it home P16. And that's going to do it. Appreciate everybody joining in here on Phillip Island, what will be possibly my newest favorite track here in the iRacing universe. Have a great rest of your guys' night, and join us next time on Stam Studio Network. Take care. Sean Stam, Nicholas Hall up in the booth.